look at that, look at that, look at that. My gosh, it's over the 2-inch mark. I haven't seen that in 2 years. This one says a little over 2.6. Just a shade over 2.6. Ooh, that's like holy water right there. Pat's saying, no, Jimmy, that's not like holy water. A little bit over 2.6. I do this like catching big bass. You weigh them on 2 or 3 scales. You count the biggest. Oh, this one is 2.7, just a little, it's almost 2.8. So we're going to call it 2.7. 2.7 inches. 2.7 inches. You know, looking down there at the dock, I really can't tell much is happening. I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's take a little quick run around the ranch, see what we see, never tell them what we might see. We'll just take a quick run around. We might run over to the other Lake Wheel Creek. But one thing I want to do is I want to go up and look at the creek that Twin Eagle Lake is on. It's Denmark Creek. I want to look at that creek and see if that creek is running. I'm going to go look at the other creek. The other creek comes out of the ground here on the ranch and runs into Big Canyon. And I even think that 2.7 inches probably won't get that running. But I want to go check that out too. We'll run over to the other lake and look real quick too. But let's go get in the mule, go run around. Hi, babies. Hi, babies. How are y'all this morning? Y'all eat all that food that Chris left in there? Huh? Y'all eat all that? Hey, babies. How are y'all doing? Looks to me like there's still stuff in there. I don't know. It may be empty. Yeah, how about that? How about you? How about you, little whitey? Your eyes look better this morning. Yeah, all that antibiotic and Xanil in there. Yeah, I can't hardly walk by here without grabbing a handful of carrots or cutting up an apple or something and giving these 2 pretty little baby girls and boys. A boy and a girl. Yeah, do y'all know what you are, huh? You bet we know what we are. You bet we know what we are. Yeah, such a pretty boy. You such a pretty girl. Yeah, you are. They love carrots. No doubt about that. Okay. Yeah, all right. That's all. That's all I got. I think there may be some still in your bowl in there. Said it's got medicine on it, boss. Doesn't taste good. Beamer, come on, you can go. Yeah, you can see how low that pond is. 2 inches of rain's all going to bring that baby up is 2 inches, because that's still got a good drain though coming down there, but it's going to take a lot of water running down there, and probably the first 1.5 inches of this rain right here might have just soaked into the ground. That last inch though might have run. We'll find out. We get up here and go down in that creek. It's kind of fun going down that hill. Y'all gonna have to hold on, buckle up. I don't want anybody falling out. This little area right here that we're going down in here carries a tremendous amount of water off of this mountain and washes out. We had trouble with this culvert here quite a little bit. We'll see. I know that didn't get running that much, but it might have some water in it though. That'll be a little bit. But this thing's washed out 3 or 4 times. I think we finally got a big enough pipe in there that it's not going to wash out. And you can see that it's absolutely, now this is the one that's washed out a lot. You can see how big that tin horn is, and there's not a drop of water running through there. And that drains a lot. That drains a lot. It's not drained any. All right, this is kind of fun going down this hill right here. This baby's steep. It's a lot of fun going down this in a tractor. I can look down at the creek already, and it doesn't look very promising that there's any water at all running through. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? 2.7 inches of rain doesn't even get a big old creek like this running at all. I mean, there's a little water in the bottom of the creek, but I don't think. It may be running a little bit, but boy, I'm telling you. I have to look down at my dock, and I could tell there hadn't been any water come up. Is that water moving? I don't think it's moving at all. No. Didn't get enough to get the water moving. You can see right over there, that side is totally dry. I'd say we're nose down. What do y'all think? Oh, Oh, I mean nose down. That's what I call steep. Got a little water in the creek, but definitely none running. Put this baby in four-wheel drive. This creek, it's got another little bit of rain forecast Friday. They said maybe a ½ inch, but maybe they'll be wrong. They'll get more. Beautiful over here. I mean, beautiful over here. This is a grown-up area over here where a lot of deer and elk like to live. Pretty much totally undisturbed over here. I'm gonna drive on up just a little bit. See if my neighbors have done anything over here. All right, it's always nice to drive over here and drive over on this other side of the property because it's also remote. We don't bring a tractor over here very often. We've got a few pecan trees over here, and we just leave those for the squirrels and crows and coons and everything. This is a steep little area right here. Thank you, four-wheel drive. Could not have done that without four-wheel drive. I'll run over here real quickly to a gate. This is the east side of our property. Joins my neighbor over on this side. Actually a good neighbor. All my neighbors are good neighbors. But this is a big landowner over here, well over 8,000 acres. Plus they have some land down in Texas as well. They also have a good deer operation going over there, so they got big deer on their place. This is the edge of our property line. You can see they've got beautiful area over there. That's a beautiful, beautiful bottom right there. I'd really like to have that bottom, but that's really a beautiful one right there. All right, let's run over the other lake real quick. You know, I've been getting a lot of comments since we've driven down in that other lake, and where that grass and stuff growing up in the lake is way higher than this mule. I mean, driving down there, Chris and I driving down in the lake, and it's just amazingly high in where there's normally water. And I've had a lot of comments about that lake being so low. Was I going to do anything about it and maybe try to improve the structures or do some improvements on that lake? And actually, my friend up in Tulsa, Angela Shepard, said maybe build a dock there while the water's down low. And it's, you know, I see why she thought that. Obviously, it's because we built when this lake here was dry, when the Eagle was dry. We built that big pier out there, and we've just had so much enjoyment over it. And they sold us some faulty lumber, and we're having to work on that a lot, you know, which is bad. The treated lumber should have lasted for years, and it hasn't. But she suggested building a boat dock over there. Well, we actually have a boat dock over there. And when we get over there, I'm going to show you that boat dock. We'll walk out on it. And I don't know if I've ever shown anybody that boat dock. But it is on the other lake, so we already have a boat dock built over there. All right, we've still got this one half of these pins locked off, and we actually spread rye all over this right before we got this 2.7 inches of rain. We got the rain, we thought we would take advantage of it. And we don't have nearly as many deer in there since we've let the babies loose. And you look right up here, you'll see several of the babies right here. We counted them this morning, they're all still here. You can look over there and you can see Whitey sitting over there. He's looking good. We've doctored him quite a bit to get him through this deal. You can see there he's jumping on up there. Gonna look around. We think he's good and healthy. We just don't know. His eyes look good. He's 3 years old. That's his third set of horns, and it's big, and that's his harem right there. I don't know if we'll see any elk on this ride, but he's got more girls than the harem. Now, the little deer you're seeing are on the outside of the fence, and they're hanging around because this is the only place they've ever lived. But you can see there's a big bunch of deer in there. I think just about the same amount of does that Whitey had to breed last year, and he did it all. He got it done. Look at this little green tag right there. Green tag, I might try to move you after a while to up there by the house. You can see all the babies off down through there, and they're laying down through the woods. And they're all here so far. So far, so good. We are concerned about coyotes, but so far, so good. Yeah. Wow, wow, look at those pecan trees. They have changed since I come through here Sunday, come back from church. They were all still green, and now they've turned turning a real pretty color right there. Pretty color, but it's only gonna last for a day or two. Look at that tree over there in the middle. It's just about, well, they don't have many pecans on them either. That's the bad thing. It's gonna be a slim harvest. There's a few trees that are loaded. Most of them don't have hardly any though. Can't believe how pretty that guy got. Wow, look at that. The pretty ones ought to have more pecans. They sure don't look like it though. Okay, this is the creek right here that Big Canyon Lake is on. And we'll just get out and look here. And we can see that Big Canyon Creek, this creek's got some water in it, but let's take a look at what water we got in it. This looks pretty good when you look down there and you see that water. It's muddy, that's all just rainwater, but then you can see that it goes through this big culvert. This culvert was built back by the WPA, I don't know, probably back in the 40s, but water flows through here, and you can see that really hasn't been happening at all. And you look on the other side, this is just, the hole is going to fill up and then it'll flow on through. When we walk across and look at the creek on the other side, you can see that, you know, there's just no water here. It might be a little hole right here. No, not even a hole. But there's a possibility, I don't think there's any water because there'd be some water there. This hasn't flowed a bit. This creek comes out of the ground on this ranch. And I've seen it over this road. I've seen it over where I'm standing right now and down this road back behind the mule. I've seen water all the way back to there. It comes in and flows in all these ditches and everything. But the ground was just so dry and it's just taken so much rain. The inch and something we had a week or so ago, or I guess about a week ago. So we've had 2.7 and 1.2. We've had almost 4 inches in the last week or so, and the creeks aren't flowing. That's how bad the drought was. The ground was just dry all the way down. I don't know how deep. I don't know how deep. Anyway, let's go over and look at that dock. Okay, we're pulling up to our dock now at Big Canyon Lake. And Angela suggested that while the water's down, I build a dock. So I did, Angela. Here it is. I worked hard over the weekend after church on Sunday and built a dock on dry land. And here it is. Here's our dock. And here's Big Canyon Lake. Now, you'll notice that it's a little ways from the water. This is how bad this drought has been, and this is how bad it is right here. This is the dock, and I got to tell you a story about this dock right here. My buddy Ross Cagle, my Cajun buddy from Louisiana, you know, that comes down and they bring 1,000 or 2,000 pounds of crawfish that we buy direct from the crawfish people down there, get them right directly off of the boat. And we had a big crawfish bowl right around Memorial Day, and we put about 1,000 to 2,000 pounds. This last year, we only did 1,000 pounds because we were having so many die, and it really worked well. We might have done that 2 years in a row. Only 1,000 pounds, but they're just pretty much all alive. But Ross suggested that we build this dock right here. And I told him, I said, well, Ross, on dry years, there won't be any water there. Oh, there'll be plenty of water there, so build this dock. So on a real dry year, Larry Sissel and I think Ernie came down and helped, but we built this dock. And, you know, I just basically help on these construction jobs. Larry's got the expertise. We built this dock. It's a sensational dock, a great dock. But here's the problem. This dock has got 8 or 10 foot of water. I think it's 7 foot down to the bottom there. When it comes up to the bottom, I think there's 7 foot of water. I actually brought a drag hoe in here and drug these out, so it'll be deeper in the middle. But you can see I got a canal that comes up here that I drug that canal out also, so I could get here in low water. But this is just too low. And when you walk over here and start looking around, this is normally all water. This is all covered with water. The only thing it's not covered is where that little live tree is right there, that little high spot. All of this is covered with water. And we catch a lot of fish all around this dock. It's a great place to fish. Chris and I was driving the mule the other day. If y'all saw that video, when Chris and I went for a ride, and then I don't know what else we did in that video, but it was just in the last week or two. You can go back and look at it. That's where we were driving. When you saw us driving, we were driving all out in that area right there. And you could look and see the main body of the water, the lake, and see how far it is up there. I mean, I have my Ranger boat up in there and my tracker boat up in there catching fish on the other side of this dock, on that area over there. This little rock pile right straight over here, right off the edge of that rock pile, is just a fantastic place. You can always catch fish right out in front of that bunch of rocks right there. You can see the water goes all the way up there. We bring the boats in here. When the water, when it's full, when this lake's full, is right at the bottom of these boards. Now, also, I want you to notice something. This is all treated lumber. This is all treated lumber. This dock was built years before I built that pier in 2015. Now, I realize that's 7 years ago. This treated lumber here, you look at it, it's perfect, it's beautiful. The treated lumber I got on that dock there is rotting out, and we're probably going to have to replace the whole pier eventually in the next 2 or 3 years. Right now, I can't even take Chris out there on it because that broke through, and I've got to repair that before I can do that. But this is what treated lumber is supposed to do. It's supposed to last and last and last. This dock's way older than the other one. You look at the whole thing, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, everything, this is just as solid and good as it's ever been. Let's go over and take a look at the boat ramp, and not anything's changed over here much at all. But we'll go over and take a look at the boat ramp, and hopefully we might see. I was hoping we'd see an elk or two running around here this morning. By golly, I'm about to freeze my bunions off. It's cold. I don't know why I didn't grab me a coat. It's what happens when I'm taking care of Chris instead of Chris taking care of me. Because if she was taking care of me, she'd have said, Jimmy, it's pretty cold out there. It's only 50 degrees. You need to wear a coat instead of just that sweatshirt. But she didn't. Okay, now we're back down there what we were looking at a minute ago from way back here at that boat dock. And you can take a look at the boat dock from over here and you can see, well, it doesn't matter whether you're looking from there to here, here to there. It's the same distance, but it's a long way from the water. And as I get over here and look, the lake, obviously, you can take a look at the boat ramp. There's still a long way down the boat ramp to the lake. But if we drive down a little bit, I don't know if we had any runoff at all anywhere that caused any additional water to get in this lake. When it got down really low, we were launching a boat down here. I'm just not even sure I can get a boat in here anyway now. You can see where the pigs have been down there rooting. Over here is where we caught it. We caught 16 pigs, I think is what we ended up catching. Daniel come and got his trap, big bass going out, coming swimming off the bank there. Daniel came and got his trap. He had a bunch of pigs move in over to his house, and he's already caught them. Don't want to go too far down there. 2.5 inches of rain, this still might get kind of soggy. But, and I can't remember, you can see all the big tires we got out there. We caught a lot of fish off those tires when the water was up, obviously. I might come down here and walk off and fish a little bit off the bank sometime. shoot a little video and see if we can catch some bass off the bank with a Jimmy Houston spinnerbait of some sort. But again, everything, this is water that we would be driving in right here normally. And you can see that all of this from here all the way to that tree line over there, that's the county road. You can see the telephone pole over there. That's normally all water. Big pecan tree right there, and it kind of looks like it might have several pecans on it. We may have to harvest that one. It's close enough to the lake that surely the roots went down and tapped into water. Deer over there looking around. You drive around here, well, that's a big old pretty doe. Yeah, probably some more back behind her. She's just out looking around, making sure that everything's clear before she brings the rest of them out. I don't want to tear up any wires up there. Well, I stopped here at the barn and got me 3 boards that I'm going to lay over that hole in the dock. I've got one down there. I had 2 that I had down there when the water's up high. That's been a long time ago. When the water's up high so I could get on that floating dock. But where that dock is, that lumber's broke off on that side. I've got that one board. The other one, I guess, I don't know where that other board I had down there. So I come down here at the barn. I got me, these are pretty good boards right there. We'll go down there and throw them over that, see what happens. Right here, we're going to cross this creek again. This is the creek that, this creek doesn't really have a name. Like I said, it comes out of the ground here on the ranch. It comes out of the ground. If we were to follow this creek on up, it's about it's probably at least a good mile up there. And you can see, obviously, it's totally dry. We knew that would be that way. This little creek right here is what you see there's a little water here. That's just the rainwater that's gathered in right here, and that's it. Probably maybe a little bit down that way some, but I don't see anywhere down that way. That's pretty down that way, but I don't see any. The creek falls up in here and then comes from this way right here. So it comes in 2 different ways. And again, like where this is sitting, we would have water. I've seen water flowing through bank high, up on this bank. We would have water running through neck high right now. I've seen it that high, but obviously it's not that way anymore. But this is the creek, and it comes out of the ground about probably if you walk it, it's probably at least a mile. It curves around, might be over a mile. So 2.7 inches of rain did not even get that creek running. Did not even get that creek running. We come out of that creek, we come up here and we find more pecan trees. A lot of these big pecan trees are scattered around, like that big beauty right there. Those big trees you see down there that's got the orange starting to get in there. That change of color just happened in the last, since Sunday. You look back in there, those big pecan trees, it's got the orange, those are pecan trees. It's a beauty right there. And come back up here and we're going to get back on the road. Go down there and get rid of these boards we picked up. Maybe go fishing. Let's go fishing. I think that these are going to be long enough. We'll find out. If they're not, they're not. Awful good boards. These are old boards, brand new right now, probably be $100 a piece. I hope it's long enough. I worry about that. Boy, if they are, they just are. I don't know. That might be pushing my luck a little bit with those. Of course, that board there's, I don't know, it's not too good. Boy, I don't know about that. That might be kind of pushing my luck on that. Are the others any longer? I don't think they are. Well, I know nobody's going to be walking on there but me. So, I think these are all the same length. They're just lumber that we haven't used. So I'm not real sure. I think I need one that's longer. Yeah, I better be careful. Well, it'll give me a little bit better. I've been doing just fine without these here. I got another big long one, but it's got away from me here and it's not here anymore. It's out there floating around the lake somewhere. I think I saw it the other day. Boy, that's not good. That's pretty dangerous right there. I know to be careful. All right, guys and girls, that's a little run around the ranch. You can see that the 2.7 inches of rain didn't do a whole lot. I'm saying this lake is 2.7 inches higher than it was because I don't think we got much runoff. But anyway, we got a beautiful day. Hey, I got a great idea. Let's go fishing.